Hello, my name is Courtney Kramer, and today I will be giving a speech on coercive power. And here is my audience. Do you ever wonder what gives a manager the right to punish or threaten punishment to any employee if they do not comply with orders? Coerc- coerc- Coercive power is the ability of a manager to force an employee to follow an order by threatening the employee with punishment if the employee does not comply with order. I will take this time to explain about coercive, coercive power, the advantages, the disadvantages, and the types of threats using coercive power. A study conducted by two social psychologists, John R. P. French and Bertram Raven, in 1959, identified 5 types of powers. The 5 types of powers are coercive, reward, legitimate, expert, and referent. The 5 bases of power are split into 2 categories. Formal power is identified by a person's position within an organization, sometimes referred to as positional power. The powers in the formal group are coercive, reward, and legitimate. The second group is personal power, which is identified by the person's followers. The power in the personal group are expert and referent. Coercive power is the ability of a manager to force an employee to follow an order by threatening the employee with punishment if the employee does not comply with the order. The most important concept to understand about coercive power is that it uses the application of force. Some of the main points of coercive power are it is mainly used in a business setting. This power can range from being mild to severe and usually is based on how resistant employees are to managers' requests. When a manager uses this power, they must be willing to follow through on any threats being made to that employee. This shows that the manager is serious and cannot be pushed around. Second, I will talk about the advantages of coercive power. Insubordination is when an employee is consistently late or takes longer breaks than allowed. Then coercive power could be used to get the employee back in line. Situations related to harassment and discrimination could lead into suspension or termination to ensure company policies are being followed. Turnaround situations happen when a company needs to be turned around, otherwise, the company can face discipline or even be shut down. Next, I will talk about the disadvantages of coercive power. People do not like coercive power as it makes them feel like they are constantly under a microscope, which leads to lower job satisfaction. Backlash is a big threat when using this power. Employees may retaliate or seek alternative employment. It is important for a manager to keep close supervision on what is going on in all employees, which takes a lot of time. Now I will talk about the common types of threats. Some of the most common types are demoting an employee, firing an employee, or suspending certain employees. Some places of employment use this power more than others, such as being employed in a sales department. If a salesperson fails to make the required number of sales every day, the manager may threaten that if they do not get their sales up, they will be demoted. In conclusion, coercive power is needed in a business setting. Coercive power is the ability of a manager to force an employee to follow an order by threatening the employee with punishment if the employee does not comply with orders. After explaining what coercive power is, some of the background, the advantages, the disadvantages, and the types of threats being used, I hope it is understood why this power is important in a business setting.